Oh my, we are live. Who all is in the house? Jack Stands and Cinderblocks was here. Buff's Garage. Nick the Van Man 90. Buff says it's 110 here and he's not risking it today. That's pretty hot. I can understand that. Bad Attitude C10. A guy named Torque Racing Productions here.
I don't know who that is.
Auto Salvage Outlaws. Shannon Wellman. I know a Jimmy and a Shannon Wellman that I went to school with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, probably not the same people.
No, this Shannon Wellman's pretty young.
The Shannon I know would have to be pushing 50.
This Shannon, though, is the guy who got me through last year's No Name. He was my only pit crew last year.
Cool. Colleen is here. Cope is here. It says Dart Sport. All righty. Spencer's Drink Reviews and Chugs. How's it going, Spencer? Does nothing special. Technician Troy. I see Jackie Abbott's here. What's happening? Jackie usually does beat Patrick in by a minute or 12. Rabbit Transit Garage, Bigfoots and Mopars. My mom's here watching. Oh, that's cool. All right. Got a little crew here. This is what we call an ambush live, you know. I did put it up ahead of time, but we wanted to give an opportunity to do a live call out here, just something a little different. We did it last year.
A sneak attack.
Patrick's driving. Well, hello, Patrick. Hope you can hear us. Junkyard D, the One-Eyed Cat, 38 POS Racing, PJ's Rusted and Busted Garage, Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly, Rich Rusnick is here. Cool. Streaming in now. Well, we have in the house Rolling from Torque Racing Production. What's happening, man?
Buddy, same as everybody else. We are thrashing down to the last minute, just like last year.
Well, you put on quite a show last year, needless to say. And I got to tell you that some people, I tell you, there are some people that just left nothing out on the field last year. I mean, you, Blake, Steven, man, Square Body Chad, some people just like they didn't stop till the echo of the whistle. And I really respect that. But thought we'd do a live today. I'm trying to get all of our class champions to get on a live, you know, and so we're going to have the Burnout guys on here September 8th, right after Labor Day. But I said to Roland, he wanted to make a call out. And I said, well, gosh, why don't we just go live early tomorrow? And be a good format to do it, don't you think?
I definitely agree.
So what you got, man? What are you thinking? We got a pretty good crew in here now.
Yeah, we totally got a good group. So I was wanting to see about getting a nice little grudge match with that Model T with Pea Shooter, the old P26 Pea Shooter.
So we're talking about Turbo Tom 416's 1916 Model T.
Yes.
Turbo Tom might drift in here. If any of you guys know Tom, shoot him a message because I didn't tag him on this. Oh, there's Turbo Tom. Look at that.
There we go.
Perfect timing. So we got a call out for Turbo Tom. Turbo Tom, do you think that would make a fun call out? The 1916 Ford Model T versus a Coleman CT 100U monkey bike?
Last year's mini bike champion.
I did talk with Dallas today, and we believe that considering the terminal speeds of the vehicles, we think this can be a safely managed match race.
I do as well, because if anything crazy happens, if he was to try to drift in my lane or vice versa, I could simply stand up off the bike and just make my way to the side.
What's up, Bad Tree Blake and JB, Just Mopar Joe, Ed's Machine. Nick says I'd offer to race Tom's Model T, but I'm afraid I'd lose. Well, do remember, Tom, I mean, this event is all about fun. So nobody's asking you, to like try to stand it on the bumper and break stuff. I gotta say, nobody was complaining about winning, losing, no tempers, nothing last year. We want it to be that way again this year. But if you'd like to make a pass with Roland in his championship monkey bike, I think that'd be pretty freaking cool. What say you, Tom? Tom, do you want to get in here? You're welcome to jump on the screen with us. Just let us know. I'll shoot you the link. And there's another thing. Tom still needs 114 subscribers, but man, that's close. I mean, there's 32 days. You could probably get 100 at the gate, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's entirely possible. So what I want to do is, see if I can do this without making too much noise here.
Me and Joe have another grudge match this year, but honestly, who doesn't have a grudge match with Joe this year?
All right. I believe I have Tom's his channel pinned there. It should be pinned in the chat. Yes, it is. Excellent. So, what you guys, if you want to see this Model T racing the pea shooter, Tom needs 114 subs, and he's put out a lot of cool content. He's an accomplished guy. He's a real world tech, and he deserves it. So, you know, spread the word. Let people know that Tom still needs a few subscribers, and I think that if we share with our friends and we put that out, that we'll see it happen. Tom says he's got 20 horsepower.
Ooh. I think I might have like 8, maybe 7.
318 Will Run says, I love that call out. Well, Tim, spread the word. We need to get Tom 114 subs. What all does Reaper need to be ready, by the way? Because I know you got a lot going on.
Oh, gosh. Well, I've just spent the last about 6 hours making a carbon fiber fuse panel box, and I'm redoing every bit of the wiring because we just now hooked up a new Holley standalone. So everything has gone fresh wiring right now. So, and I'm doing that now. It's late in the game.
Well, you know, it's there's a lot of people making last minute changes, and some people are doing them electively and some because they have to. Tom, you'll get the subs. We're going to get you over 400 right now, and you'll be close. Well, I think you're going to get them. But you know what? This is part of the fun. So check out his channel. If you earned your sub, subscribe to him, and let's make it happen. Unfinished Project says short posting soon. Oh, boy. So, Tom, is it game on? We want to see it.
Yeah, because I could totally make a short as well with Pea Shooter and have his channel linked in the short and everything and get that much more people interested in it.
Yeah, this is really cool. I mean, what event do you see a 1916 Ford Model T going down the track? That's one of those that I would stop whatever I'm doing and make sure I'm at the fence when that's going down.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, too. I got to ask Ron Ward in all the 30-some years he's been doing this if he's ever called a 1916 Ford Model T in a drag race. I bet you out of thousands and thousands and thousands of pairs of runs he's called, he hasn't done that. I have to ask him that.
Yeah, I don't really bet money very often, but I'm pretty sure I'd put a $1 bill down on that one being a no.
Yeah, I thought this would be a fun little call out. We'll remind people a little further in. We thought we would do kind of a flash mob Turbo Tom 416 benefit live here. Thought it'd be fun. He's a good dude. He's really well liked. And I just thought this would be fun and different to do. And I thought I would kind of make people a little nervous by just putting up a thumbnail that says live with blank to call out blank. That could be all kinds of things.
A little mystery.
Yeah, I'm not into betting, but I mean, some people are. And Jack Stands says he put $10 on it. Well, we do have a pretty good bounty. The house doesn't do bounties, but there is a pretty good bounty on Joe. So, I mean, I don't have a problem promoting someone else's bounty. But fun stuff. It's got to be in the spirit of fun.
I'm still waiting on the, what is it?
Mexican Specs is real world tech, not just on YouTube. Buck told me not to miss this. I don't even know if Buck knew about it. Oh, yeah. I mentioned to Buck, I said, Turbo Tom should catch our live tomorrow. I said that in passing. Buck must have remembered that. Because Buck didn't know what this was about either. Yeah, you've already picked up, I think, 5 subs, Tom. So like usual, you all have your spheres of influence. And all of ours overlap a little bit, and then they all have their independence. So, if you want to see that happen, then share out Tom's channel. Good stuff on his channel, too. He's a bona fide technician, so there's good stuff on that channel. Smoke Wrench says, truthfully, he's not sure if he's ever seen a 1916 Model T. Well, hopefully we can fix that. I'm very excited to see it. I hope it'll happen. I'm hoping, too, they'll cruise it to Lambert, 7 miles from the track. So that's really freaking cool. "32-second quarter mile." I don't know, Dean. We don't have a quarter mile there to run. But I'd venture to say if that car ran the quarter, it could still stop. So what have we got on the front, on the monkey bike front, all tuned up?
Is it? Yeah. Who else is racing this year for the monkey bikes?
I don't know yet. There's a lot of people coming back and running again, but I don't know. The monkey bike field's been kind of quiet. Maybe I need to have a Friday live with them again like I did last year.
Might do it because I'm interested to see.
318 will run. I appreciate that, man. I will put that in the hopper, and thank you.
All right. I shared Turbo Tom's channel on a few different platforms there. So
right on. Yeah, we're not planning to do a marathon and stay live till he gets 500, but I'll tell you what, it would be cool to get him a good head start on it, I mean, if you're inside of 400, you should be able to get the balance at the event. I mean, Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans and Dizzy Izzy did that last year. It was all good fun, had cardboard signs and the whole thing. But what that's really doing is it's honoring the work and the commitment of all of the no-name 500 guys. Roland was a no-name 500 guy last year. And if you want to go back in time, it wasn't, I mean, the no-name nationals didn't exist in 2019, 2020, but I was a no-name 500 guy. Just Mopar Joe was. The Bad Tree guys were. We were no-name 500 guys a few years back. So everybody's a no-name 500 guy at one time or another, right? And so this is Tom's season, and just how it is. So the community all supports us. We're all on, there's no hierarchy. We're all on the same path. Some of us just might be different places on the path. We're all on the same path. So we're supporting the people trying to get their subs at the event. Again, don't make that part of your plan. Get your subs before you get there. But if you need to get them there, you'll get a lot of help.
I'll get out there and pick it with you, Tom.
I remember Damien from Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans had a cardboard sign on. He was standing at the gate Friday morning, and about 10 o'clock, he ran up to me, showed me on his phone where he got his 500. And I said, right on, send me the picture and go get the tech line. It's a great feeling. it's a thing you guys all do together, and it shows your commitment to the community and shows accountability, and it's great. I really believe that was a big component of why the conduct was so good last year.
I've been to a lot of drag racing events. I've been to a lot of like official events and some of the backwoods style events and things like that. And hands down, that was one of the most camaraderie top environment that I've been in at a car place. I mean, it was insane. People offering up parts off their own cars to help another person out. I mean,
right on.
Everybody leaving toolboxes around wide open because everybody knew each other. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that before.
Nothing stolen, nothing broken, nothing vandalized, no litter.
No.
What? Blue Collar Performance says 62 days left. It's getting real. Is that to your Halloween party, Nate? Because that's not till the No Name Nationals.
You're going to show up at the gate and nobody's going to be there.
It's 31 days and 5 hours and 41 minutes, my man. The sign at the gate is great. Which sign are you talking about? The welcome sign? We have a few different signs. We have a welcome sign. We have a sign for participants and spectator gates. We have a troll seating sign. Got a few other cool signs. Got some different signs this year you'll like.
That troll sign cracked me up.
Bondo Billy loves his trolls. They've made his channel. And so I told him he should do a video with the troll seating sign. There's Lunar Outlaw Garage. How you going? Tony's Hot Rod Garage is 32 days and getting nervous about his torque converter. Blake says plenty of time to take care of those loose ends. I got to tell you, the Bad Tree guys, doesn't matter how many loose ends they have, those guys work and rally and get it done. They are make it happen, guys. I've known Blake for years now, and they are not show up with a handful of excuses people. There's things like that a lot of people don't realize because you see the cars and they're cool and hanging out and that kind of stuff, but there's other virtues people might not think about. I can say that about a lot of guys here. I can say about Roland. I can say that about the Bad Tree guys, Joe, Tony's Hot Rod Garage. Lots of guys like that are just, they do not offer a handful of excuses. They're get it done people. They are warriors. Road Beer's in the house. I didn't see Road Beer sneak in. I saw he was live today. Oh, there we are. Road Beer says, I wish I didn't have to drive over that bridge in Cairo pulling a trailer. You don't have to. I think there's another bridge to the north, maybe about 10 miles if you want to go around. But, man, that bridge is tight. I know last year the left mirror on my van went over top of a trailer. It was that tight. Let us know where Turbo Tom is. I know he's climbing. He's close to 4 now. Well, Roland, what other new and interesting things do you have going on? I know you've been thrashing on the Reaper, and you've always got an ace up your sleeve with the monkey bike, and you've got your business now.
My big ace up my sleeve on the monkey bike is still pending. Amazon said that the part was going to be here like a month ago, and the last 6 days in a row, it keeps saying out for delivery. It still hasn't showed up, so I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. But we're trying to bring a little something new to it. We're keeping the same theme to the bike. It's still going to be themed after the P-26 P shooter, American fighter plane. But we're changing some things on it. We're going to add a new nose cone that looks a lot more realistic to the real plane. And also that Shannon that we was talking about, he bought a like a 1/20th scale replica engine of the real P-26, and we're going to mount it up in it and everything. So It should look pretty
That's
cool.
wild.
Way better than last year.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Good looking bike. Tony's had
It
to
didn't turn
happily
out
sell
bad.
tires.
I only had like 5 days of work in it last year, so it was a crazy thrash getting that bike put together. So it turned out really well, but it should look a lot better this year. I'm excited for everyone to see it again, and because we put a lot of work into it this year. We've changed a lot of things on it. So
Now, are you going to camp over in the woods, way over there?
I'm definitely going to have my wife gets to come this time and the kids, so I'm super excited that they're going to get to come.
Good.
So they are going to have like a camp spot up out in the woods where we had it last year.
Okay.
Just so that way when it's time to go to sleep, the kids and stuff's all out there,
Right.
kind of where it's quiet. But we are going to have like a pit spot that's going to be up on the blacktop and close to everybody. It'll make it a lot easier to get to and from the starting line. And, then if people want to come and look and check Pea Shooter out or check Reaper out or whatever, then they can.
Cool. How old are your kids?
I have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
That's a good group. That's a good range right there.
Yeah.
You got all kinds of different things going on at the same time.
I really do. Oh, and something else too was last year our tow rig was my big military truck.
Right.
I only did like 45 miles per hour coming down.
That's right.
So it's plan B again this year because last year my brother was trying to get his tow rig ready to go, and we just ran into a bunch of problems with it. So he buys a whole new truck this year, and it's ready to go. And we're like, sweet. Now this is like 4 months ago maybe. So he bought a brand new truck, or new to him, and everything's ready to go. And we're like, sweet. So now we don't have to worry about a tow rig. We just need to worry about Reaper and Pea Shooter. Well, the next thing you know, an injector goes down in it. And when an injector goes down in a turbo Cummins, it's problems. So now, I don't know if anyone has seen the part 1 video. Part 2 is going to be coming out pretty soon. Now we're in the middle of a Cummins engine swap from a common rail over to a 12 valve out from his old truck to the new one. It's a mess.
Well, I'm glad we had this live when we did, because if you don't have that fixed by next week, you need to go ahead and leave to get here on time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm going to leave like 3 days early, and oh man.
Literally, how long did that trip take you?
Google Maps says when we left the driveway, it said your destination, you'll arrive there in like 8 hours and 15 minutes.
No.
And I was like, no, we won't. And it took right at about 11 hours and 45 minutes.
Still, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
okay.
The drive itself wasn't so bad. What was terrifying was when you're on a big highway where the speed limit's 70,
right?
And you've got your 4-way flashers on doing 45,
Yep.
and big trucks are whizzing by you and blowing the
Right.
horn. That was terrifying.
Yep. I usually drive 65, and
Yeah.
so to me, I'm even getting passed mildly uncomfortably by some of these people because they drive 20 over the speed limit. I can't even imagine doing 45 and having to fly around you literally at twice what you're doing.
Oh, it was so scary because we would watch in a rearview mirror, and some of these people, I guess maybe they just wasn't paying attention. Maybe they were on their phone. I don't know. But it seems like they would wait till they were like 15 feet from us and then veer out of the way real quick and then blow.
I hate that. Man, I hate that.
Oh my gosh.
What is
I
it
was
with
just
people,
waiting to get hit.
that thing that people do when you can change, if you're 100 feet away from a car, you can change lanes and still leave 50 feet. Why do they wait and leave 5? It's like, I like to make sure that if I slip this far on my turn, I'm going to clip that other car.
Yeah,
Why do people do that? I've never understood that.
that's insane.
It's the same thing when they use a turn, like a deceleration lane. It's like the entire purpose of the deceleration lane is to get in it, then decelerate. That way it doesn't slow anything down or cause a wreck. No, they'll slow all the way down as they get in it. Well, that defeats the entire purpose. You might as well not even have one.
Yeah. Oh, no, I got one for you. How about whenever you're doing the speed limit or even above, and then someone comes flying around you to get in front of you just so they can hit their turn signals and slow down.
People drive like they have no consciousness of anything on the road around them. Everything is a surprise to them when it happens, too.
Yeah.
That is correct, Tony. That is the right answer. Yes, Dizzy, this is what we call an ambush live, and we just kind of go live. But Roland wanted to do a call out with Turbo Tom, and I thought that was really cool. And I checked with Dallas to see if that was something that we thought was within the reasonable realm of safety, because we would not put a monkey bike, in a bracket against a 6-second car. That's a terrible situation right there. We wouldn't do that. We think something like this is quite manageable.
He is at 394 at the moment.
394. Well, I'd love to get Tom over 400 today. His link is pinned at the top. Check out his channel. He's a cool guy. Got good stuff on his channel for the work he does. But check him out, and let's get him a little closer. And then I think he'll get it. Joe says live call outs are the best. Yes, they are.
Yeah, Mohawk 62 there. Whenever we were leaving No Name, we left that night. We was going to wait till the next morning, but we decided that leaving at nighttime when the traffic was low, and it's a lot easier to see four-ways flashing at nighttime than it is during the day. So we left that night to go home. And Mohawk 62, they passed us, but they passed us like a gentleman. They got off way over, plenty of time. Yeah, they done a good job.
Yeah, I try to be considerate of other people on the road and not making it any harder for them than I have to. Tony says he's not calling anyone out till he has a torque converter. Well, it's your call, man. Joe says live call outs are the best. Yes, they are. They are exciting. Turbo Tom says I can ask JB to help tonight. Right. Well, I'll tell you, just put it out there in your individual spheres of influence. If everybody just shares it with someone, and it'll happen.
And Tom, I just want you to know, man, it's just a friendly call out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I don't really care who wins. I just think it would be such a legendary matchup of epic.
Absolutely. And that's the only kind of, I don't want any of this trash talking drama stuff. This is not that. We don't do that. Everybody needs to behave like gentlemen. Everybody should behave like gentlemen. There's no reason we can't have all kinds of fun and get along and all that. Last year proved that concept. Looks like Barrows and Auto Salvage Outlaws is going to race on their feet. Now, who's going to win that, Roland? If you were to have a foot race between Millard there of Auto Salvage Outlaws and Kim Barrows, who would win that? Blue Collar says you're both smokers, right? I believe so.
That was a good question to ask, actually.
That's a good question to ask, yeah. That's actually a pretty good match race there. I think Auto Salvage Outlaws maybe a few years older, like just a few.
Are they just going to the 60 foot?
Yeah, this is a good one. I like that race. I like that matchup.
Can I put a GoPro on somebody's head? I got that 360 cam, so we get a great view.
Would either make it to the other end. Yeah, if somebody picked them up on a monkey bike and they reenacted the Dumb and Dumber scene going down the track. I don't know if they'd make it the other end. I would hope so. Tom had new bearings poured in May. When you say new bearings poured in May, do you have bad bearings in that car? What kind of bearings do you have in that? Because I know a T had something kind of funky. So what all are your plans this year, Roland? I know you're planning on doing the bracket. I know you're planning on doing monkey bike.
We're doing
you're
everything.
To try to win the overall, right?
We're doing everything, and I have plans on.
And you're going to try to get
everything being
10-5 heads up.
Yes. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to gloriously lose just like I did last year because those cars are fast. But I will say this. I didn't really add much more horsepower to the car this year. I did a head change. We went from a 243 head back to the 706. I just like the 706s better. They have a smaller chamber, so you get a nice little compression bump, a lot better torque. And so I think we didn't really pick up much horsepower, but I did drop close to 300 pounds off the car this year. So I'm hoping that might help me just a little bit in that 28.
Looked like you took some weight out of it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Well, the thing about 28,
a lot of panels has been replaced with carbon fiber.
That instant green's a big deal.
Yeah,
the instant green is a big deal in that class.
It got me for sure. Who was it? White Trash Motorsports, I think it was, with the
Sam.
G-body, right? Yeah. He cut me down on the tree, which, I mean, I didn't stand a chance of running him down regardless, but I was hoping I could at least tree with him. No, man, he chopped me down on the line.
Well, you know something I'll mention to people because there's little stories people don't know. Like Roland actually drew the buy run on the chip draw.
Yeah.
And for a guy running a 26-inch tire, that is a gift to him, right?
Yeah.
Because you're in there running these 5-second hammers, and that was a gift, right?
Oh, yeah.
But because Sam could not make the driver's meeting, he was getting fuel in town. I asked Roland, I said, well, hey, man, remember calling you asking this. Like, hey,
Yep.
It's your call. It's your call. No hard feelings one way or the other. But Sam cannot make the driver's meeting to draw a chip. And the only way he makes the field now is if you want to let him take the buy. And Roland, without even hesitation, said, of course I will.
Yep.
That's the kind of sportsman Roland is. That tells you what kind of person he is. You might not have even heard that story till right now. Because he doesn't go around telling you what a good guy is, but he did that, knowing that he's got to race a wicked fast Cutlass.
My Cutlass is quick.
That Cutlass is no joke. That thing's flies.
But, you got to ask yourself, if you were on the spectator stand and you just saw Reaper pull up there by itself, I mean, yeah, that's going to be okay to watch. But, I mean, wouldn't you so much rather watch it run against somebody? So,
you know, but
I was there to have fun.
But I love the sportsmanship with that.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was really cool. So that's what kind of people we have here. But that's a cool story that people just might not know. If there probably aren't 5 people, I just said that even knew that.
Yeah.
38 POS Racing is hoping someone brings a sundial for his reaction times. That's about like mine. Mine are terrible. Yeah, but at least they're consistently terrible. I could probably almost get a long travel button and make that work.
That instant green really does, man. It really catches people. I had 2 races last year against Just Mopar Joe. And the first race I had against him, I chopped him down on the tree on that instant green. And
that's the only way you're going to get Joe.
I eked out a win on him. And then the next time we lined up, he wasn't asleep on the start line the next time. He came with that hammer on that second round and come around me pretty good.
Now, did you race him in 28-10-5 or the bracket? Where were you paired with him?
Let's see.
Both you guys did both of those races.
I want to say that I think I went out first round because White Trash Motorsports.
Yeah,
like I said, he wiped the floor.
Okay, so it would have been in the bracket.
Yeah, no, that was just we were doing test and tune for the instant green.
Test and tune. Okay, that had to be because he won the bracket.
Oh no, I know what it was.
Right.
They gave us They gave us two practice runs. Like they said, everyone had to line up for the 28-10-5, and everybody got 2 practice runs for the 28-10-5, and that's what it was.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That works. We're going to have lots of test and tune. because a lot of people are bringing untested stuff there, and we need that, right?
Oh yeah.
So we're going to have lots of test and tune opportunities both days. You can mix in the call outs between the rounds, and that's the idea.
Well, that's like Reaper. I mean, we have done like, on average, a person might do 1 or 2 large mods a year on their vehicle. And I didn't mean to. It was just one of those things that kind of happened. I ended up doing 18 different modifications just because it was one of those things like, well, we're already here. The engine's already out. The trans is already out. We might as well do this, 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 and this. It's a whole new car. I have no clue what it's going to do this year.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. There are people bringing season. We've had people do all kinds of stuff. Like, there are people bringing really well-seasoned combinations that they know. There are people like Nick the Van Man who built this thing from scratch this year, but he has really stayed on it and tested and fixed. And, he's trying to be extremely well prepared. Then there's most people on average get their stuff done close to time. Then there's going to be people getting it done at the last minute. And we have just everything in between. So yours is one of those that a lot's been changed, and we're just going to find out what we find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been working on it all year long. Literally, when we came back from No Name Nationals last year, I brought it straight in the garage and instantly put it up on jack stands and said, okay, let's start getting ready for next year. And it's been all year long.
Turbo Tom, that's a great question. Not everybody is wired to be a content creator, but I will say this. The idea is not about trying to make people be creators. It's to get people interact. I know my internet's blinking a little bit, but anyway, the whole point in that 500 something is to get people to interact. And I will say that both last year and this year, the difference in the people who make it, the people who don't, are the people who quit and the people who don't. So that's it. And we had some guys come back this year who didn't make it last year and made it this year. My next project is one of them, Rob's Rods and Streetcars. So, it's nothing says you can't try again. It's just what you're doing is when you make that 500 subs, you're honoring all that work, all the people before you have done, and the people after, and that's it's doable. Roland did it. Roland was a No Name 500 guy for the inaugural season. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. So
mine came one sub at a time.
One sub at a time. And Nate did it. Nadertron's World, one sub at a time. JB did it, one sub at a time. And that's what it takes. That's exactly what it takes. And the thing is you can start off and hardly get any views on your videos. And if you just stay after it, what happens is eventually something in the algorithm picks it up or somebody shares it. Then you got people going back and watching stuff. And then you just notice you have this flat curve. Then all of a sudden, boom. You might get 50 subs practically out of nowhere. And that's what happens. You just got to not give up. But in the meantime, what you're doing is you're interacting and engaging with the community. Dust Devil says, if I can get 500, anyone can. This is true. Brian says, he's right, anybody can do it. Brian plugged away, and he did it.
I noticed the best consistency in my channel when I started doing, and I'm not saying this is going to be like a golden rule for anybody's. It's just what worked for me. I started posting a full length video, which was around 8 to 10 minutes or so on every Sunday, and then every single day I had one short posting every day, and it wasn't. We went from 500 to 1,100 in no time.
But Max Wedge thing is that is a key to getting ahead. And I want everybody to know this. This is a fact. Dizzy said, I'm proof anyone can. Dizzy can do it. You guys can do it. There is still plenty of time.
Yeah.
James and James had 41 subs with 2 weeks to go and did it. And they just ground it out and did it. Thing is what you're doing is you're sharing your experience. You're sharing your journey. And not every video you do is going to be, a home run or good. And you'll have some that's like, wow, nobody watched that. But I'll tell you, if you stay at it, eventually you're going to have something that says, man, I can't believe 1,000 people watched that video about, a bug crossing the sidewalk. You're sharing your journey. and you will get there. If you don't quit, you'll get there.
I've had videos that when I was recording it and going through the editing process, and I'm talking, taking 4 and 5 hours, editing everything, making it look nice and neat. And I'm like, this is going to be a good video. And it just flopped. And then I've had other videos that I would laugh at and be like, oh, this video is so dumb. And it would just skyrocket on views.
Spot on. Spot on. One of my favorite videos to make and to watch just to relive all the fun I had was going to Louisiana a couple years ago. And, man, I hardly got any views. But then some of these silly ones, like obviously the one, Drunks football game, that's 250,000 views. But then I got some like putting cab mounts in a Ford truck. It just checked a bunch of boxes and gets a lot of searches and got thousands of views.
Yeah.
My dad's Jeep, thousands of views. That kind of stuff, people watch. James and James did it in 13 days. Yes, they did. Just under 2 weeks. Yeah.
Something else too for anyone who's like struggling with like being on camera, especially if you've got any kind of like decent editing program. I have hours upon hours of flub ups of me stumbling over my words or saying something goofy or doing the wrong thing, and I just, all right, I messed that up. Let me go back a couple seconds and then restart what I said. Just edit it. I always just edit those parts out if I need to. No big deal.
You can. I will say that the more you do it, the better you'll get at.
Yeah.
The better you get at producing through experience, the less editing you'll have to do.
Yep.
Turbo Tom has a 4.7 torn down. Show the Pistons in the video. Turbo Tom, that is the perfect opportunity to show people why those engines are so fragile and don't last. Seriously, that 4.7 has a reputation for not being very durable. That will be a really good opportunity to show people that. Busy says if you're short 100 or less, you can park by the gate. And you can, and I'll tell you, probably even better than that is to do it at Lambert's.
Yeah.
But you could do it at both. Although that said, do it early, get it over with so that you can just get there, get teched in, relax, chill, cruise to Lambert's, have a good meal, hang out, watch the movie. That's what you want to do. So after you got trolling, after you and the crew make a 45-mile-an-hour trip halfway across the country, you're going to enjoy watching Smokey and the Band and be completely the opposite.
I hope I don't have to do 45 the whole way there.
You couldn't have made it from Texarkana to Atlanta and back in 27 hours in the Echo, right?
I love my old military truck. I love it, but it doesn't have AC. It does have a radio, but there's no sound deadening in it. Military trucks don't have sound deadening.
No.
So it's not the greatest truck to take on a long trip. But I will say this, like I said, part 2 to our Cummins swap video should be coming up pretty soon because everything is now done. The engine that's going in the new truck is out. It's the new clutch is on and the injectors and stuff, the valve springs, everything's ready to go. So as soon as my brother gets another day off, he's coming over and we're throwing the engine in the truck. So we should have a good tow rig this year. But as for the Smokey and the Bandit thing, man, I was actually pretty excited about that too. I was telling the wife about it. I said, they're going to have a big projector and they're going to have a movie playing. I said, that's going to be really cool.
45-foot screen.
That's awesome.
That's a big screen. It's a big honking screen. I think things like that are so much fun. I mean, this is about the community having fun together. We all like cars. We're all at the track, but it's really just a big content creator homecoming. Big get together, big party. Shannon says that was one of the most unpleasant trips I've done, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
It's been a year. And he'll just randomly say that sometimes, like we'll be working on something in the garage or whatever, and we'll be talking on the phone, and he'll just be like, yeah, that might be rough, but that wasn't as rough as that trip back in Echo. I've scarred him for life.
Patricia Stevens says, I'm excited about going. Question mark, exclamation point. We'll take that. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. You know, Big Mike brings up a good point. And Tom, if you're listening to this, he made a video on how to shift a big truck. And a video on how to drive a Model T would be really cool. You should do a video on how to drive one, because a lot of people have never even thought about the fact that, you know, in 1916, it wasn't standard like it is now, you know, the skinny gas pedal and brake pedal. And people now don't even know about the third pedal, the clutch pedal anymore. But the Model T, you didn't even have that standardization. You had a different setup with pedals and all that. So I think that would make a great video, how to drive a Model T.
I'd watch it.
I would. Oh, absolutely. Tom's got one. Good. You should definitely have one. I've watched a few of them, the crank start and stuff like that. My dad knew how to, you know, drive one and crank start one. He said that the fire department had one when he was there. And see, when he was there, he drove a 1960 LaFrance, and their antique parade vehicle was a model. I think they had a Model T and then a Model A fire truck. But the truck that was in service was a 60 model LaFrance, but he knew how to drive it and such, and I thought that was pretty cool. And now the fire department there doesn't have any parade vehicles. The private owner owns the ladder truck he drove, and it still looks great. I'm real happy about that. Greg McDonald says, just blow up your engine and allow the subs and views you need. Well, yeah, it would. We don't want to do that if we can help it. Anybody have any questions for Roland while we've got him on here? Anybody have a current sub count on old Turbo Tom 416?
He is at 396.
396. Let's see if we can tip him over the 400 mark before we call it a day. But we wanted to get that call out, and I hope to see it happen. I think it'd be really cool.
I do too. I'm really excited for it.
And First Responder Garage, 130,000. I had one go 225, but they do blow up easier. They are more fragile than the 318 for sure. Blue Collar Performance says, I'm living proof that doing unreasonable things to engines results in a lot of subs. Indeed. Turbo Thompson, the first place I work, I had to learn to drive a Nash. Yeah. There you go. So when are you thinking about heading down? When are you planning on getting there, Roland? What would you guess?
We're probably going to head out first thing Thursday morning. Probably try to hit the road about 5 a.m. or so. So that way we can I'd like to get there about the time that tech starts.
Okay. Well, tech will be open at noon. So you'll be doing all right.
I've been going over the car pretty heavy, trying to make sure that I'm checking everything off the list that I can, because I want to make sure I pass tech inspection. So
yeah, and that's a big thing. I mean, make sure that you can just get there, get in, sail through tech inspection, and then you have the rest of Thursday off just to have a good time. You're not going to be thrashing trying to get stuff together.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. Just going around the pits and talking to everybody. Get some more content in and just go see everybody. I saw Mohawk's comment there. Mohawk. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say Tony had this. That's exactly right. They cannot get hot. A 318 can run hot forever, but not one of those. But go ahead, Roland. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're fine. Mohawk, yeah. I'm planning on bringing some more soap and the TRP microfiber towels and stuff like that, and I'm planning on giving a bunch away too, up in the tower, kind of like we did last year.
Cool. Yeah.
So, but I'll have some for sale too.
I'm just going to mention that in general to all of you guys. So we did giveaways to people in the stands and spectators and such last year, and we had a blast doing that. Ron Ward was just running all kinds of contests, and doing it during track cleanups and breaks and different things. So if you want to give away channel shirts and stickers and stuff like that, you're welcome to. All right, Smoke Wrench, have fun with that 904, my favorite transmission.
We got a brand new Trans-Am Reaper. It's 0 miles. It's a T56 Magnum. It's a road course transmission, but it's way stronger than the stock one. I was expecting the stock one to bust anytime last year.
Yeah, you're making some torque to break one. They're pretty stout, but they do have their limits.
Yeah.
So you're planning on doing burnout competition again this year?
Yeah, and it should be pretty interesting because I now have a front exit 8-in-1 header. So I should be shooting some flames out of the hood.
I look at that thing. That is the wildest. Can I show a picture of that to people who haven't seen it?
Yeah. I got a video coming up next Sunday that goes over the whole thing. So I'm ready to show it off now.
But it's been seen before, right?
Yeah.
It's been seen before, correct? Okay.
Yeah, I've shared a picture of it once. All the primaries are almost identical length.
Look closely. Don't go into solo layout. You got to see it. It's just one of those things you just look at like, I have no words.
Dizzy Izzy said, "I sound as mean as a wet cat."
You know what's going to be great is like 100 years from now, that header is going to be found in the ruins of civilization, and nobody's going to be able to figure out what it went on.
It's funny too because I posted that exact picture on one of these 4th Gen Camaro Facebook groups, and it had like 160 comments the last time that I checked it, and it was split right down the middle between that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen and that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, those equal primaries and that 8-in-1 merge, that gives it a very unique sound, and I'm super excited to hear it fire up for the first time.
Blue Collar Performance says my 8-in-1 exhaust makes a whistling sound when I floor it.
Does it have a turbo attached to it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
There's my next project.
That's another reason we're doing it too. Is we're setting it up for a turbo as soon as we get a chance.
So let me ask you. Now this is very early, very presumptive talk. You said you're setting up for a turbo. Are you looking ahead to what you think that car might be for next year?
I'm probably not going to bring it next year. I have the very first car I ever owned. It was an old 1988 Cavalier. Right. It's currently sitting on an S10 frame with a small block 350 in it. But I'm going to frame swap it one more time over to something that's all-wheel drive and turbo. So the plan is to bring that next year.
So you're talking about all-wheel drive in a car. We have at least one other channel talking about all-wheel drive in a car. I think that's going to be a thing in the next couple seasons to come.
Yeah, we've already got a future call out with each other.
Nick is asking if it sounds similar to a Ferrari F40 or something.
It actually surprisingly does. It gives the car almost a very distinctive flat plane crank sound, but you retain the cross plane crank torque curve. So for me, it's a win-win. I keep my torque and I get that crazy sound. So it's a nice win-win for me.
Have you seen? I see Colleen in chat. Have you seen the headers that are Dart? They took truck Magnum headers and they swapped them side to side.
So that way they were like facing forward.
They flipped them facing forward, and that's they fit. It's interesting.
I've seen a lot of 5.3 guys do that with the Tahoe headers, the manifolds. They'd flip them forward and then use them as turbo manifolds.
So your car, Damien's, One-Eyed Cat, there's at least 3 I can think of right off the top of my head that have the exhaust flipped to face forward. Of course, yours is custom built, though. It's not flipped. It's designed that way.
That's the first header I've ever even attempted to build.
Yeah.
So it was nerve-wracking.
How'd it turn out, though? I mean, how do you like the little details, the stuff we'll never even notice?
What was it?
How do you like how it turned out? That even the little things we'll never notice.
I like it. I felt, like I said, it was the first one I've ever done, and it worked. Everything kind of went the way I wanted it to. I got the equal length primaries, which was the most important part for me. The header wrap was a nightmare. That stuff is itchy and horrible, and I don't ever want to do it again. But it looks great, and it's going to function as it should. So
yeah,
I'm pretty happy with them.
I've heard people say that the header wrap causes the headers to rust. That said, I've taken a few sets of that stuff off, and the headers look absolutely fine. So, the jury's still out on me to whether or not it actually gets the headers rotten or not.
The only way that I would see that it would be if your header wrap got wet and then you just let it set. But as soon as you start it up, within 30 minutes of it running, it's going to dry those things out real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Van Man, I will keep you in my thoughts, buddy, because I've got 2 or 3 different platforms that I'm considering using, and the Astrovan is one of the particular platforms I'm considering.
Okay.
See you, Greg.
First responders suggested the baby powder before you wrap. I've never put header wrap on. I've only taken it off. Well, I can't say that. I put header wrap on a place where I wanted to protect something one time, but I've never actually wrapped a whole set of headers.
If you do it, I would get a respirator, long sleeve shirt, and gloves, and make sure you soak it before you wrap it. Yeah. I've done it dry and soaking it most definitely helps a lot.
Okay. That's good to know.
Actually, if anyone's interested in it, the video of me showing how to do the header wrap and kind of like the pros and cons video I posted last Sunday. And then in one more hour, the video of how to do header wrap is coming up of me doing those headers.
Turbo Tom, you want to jump on here? If you do want to, you're welcome to, and we'll get you on a few minutes if you like. It's entirely up to you. We just wanted to try to get this call out there, and y'all can talk about it, work it out. But we wanted to put that out there and see if we could get you moving on some subs. So
let's see where he's at.
Yeah, let's get to 400.
He's only 4 away from 400. Surely there's got to be 4 more people in here.
There'll be 4 more people in the universe. We got 38 in here. If you have any reach, like with Facebook, Instagram, whatever, community post, everybody has a community tab now.
Yeah.
It might be the time to put something out. I will say that there are 13 channels left running in the No Name 500 this year. And I'm absolutely happy to help the ones that are helping themselves, especially. Tom says there's too much noise going on where he is. Understandable. I get that. Well, it's not like we gave you a heads up. We kind of wanted this to be a fun, friendly surprise. So. But sometimes it's fun to just do it that way. But
I fully believe he can make it.
Oh, there's no doubt he can make it. Any of the 13 channels in the No Name 500 can make it. There are 32 days. There's actually time to start from 0 right now if you want to hustle. But if you're 400, You're so close.
Yeah.
The first half is much harder to get than the second half. Usually it's when people get halfway there, get that first 250, they start evaluating, well, man, if it took me 7 months to get 250, how am I going to get the next 250 in 2 months? But you absolutely can, because it takes much, much longer to get the first 250. You might get your first 100 pretty quickly just for registering, but then the climb begins. But the climb gets less steep as you go. Yeah, Community Tab is an awesome feature. I love it. I was excited to get it because at one time you used to have 1,000 subscribers to get a Community Tab. And now all the channels have.
Yeah.
Ron Peeler says I'm the Jedi for getting car channels started. No, the people who start them are the people who sit down and say, I'm going to do this and make their channel. I just want to try to raise awareness for them and help them get moving. There's Warrior Mobile RV Service. That guy seems familiar. I believe that's
cool,
Jason's account, Jason's Garage. Yeah, he's a cool dude. And 250 to 450 is a quick ride. Yeah, if you're still hammering, you get it.
So
Right.
Did I hear correctly that Dallas is going to be running in the 28-10-5?
Let me show you guys something. Check this out. I'm going to put this on. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to put this on solo for you guys. You'll need to see this. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's see here. Shouldn't take me but a second to find it. I'm going to just play it. And I will tell you, the source of this, of course, was Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab, if you want to watch the original. But this is the first video I've ever even seen of that car. I've seen it in person at his house under the corner of a cover. That's a bad pass.
I was going to say a 640 with that launch. That is impressive.
That was a bad pass. You could see it spinning.
Yeah,
he's still getting the
one.
tires broken in, and plus two, he went to a shorter tire, a little bit wider, a good bit shorter. So he's still getting the learning, but that's a violent car. I believe he still has the travel limiters on the front. If he takes the travel limiters off, it'll fit on the back bumper. With a 390 gear, that car gets on the back bumper. But anyway, you can see he's still trying to get it hooked up. But yeah, he's going to be in the bracket. He's going to be in the 28-10-5.
That's awesome.
I don't think he's going to try to do the burnout competition, but I can't speak for him. But
I don't think he'll struggle if he does.
Anyway, it's a really cool car. I've seen it in person, never heard it run before. I just saw it under the corner of a cover in his garage. He's got his shop, and then he's got his garage in his house. This stays in the garage in his house. So I think he moved it over there to work on it. But it's cool. I'm glad he's got it out, and he's getting it shaken down, and, yeah, he's going to bring it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad to see Dallas having some fun, too. Technician Troy, take care, man. So where is Turbo Tom? Anybody else have an update? We just want to give him a few and get him unstuck a little bit. He was at 385 for a while.
He's 397 right now.
397, yeah. So we got him about 11 or 12 subs here in a little bit of time. But go check him out. We want to see this call out happen. We won't tie Roland up too late tonight. I just thought this would be a fun little ambush live to do. I don't want to take you away from your family any longer, but anybody have any last questions for Roland? Time is short, 31 days, 4 hours, 52 minutes. Dizzy says 398. We're close. Let's see if we can get 400 before we wrap up. Anybody have anything for Roland? And we'll let y'all get on with your weekend.
Get
Dizzy
back to
just
wiring again.
So what's your week look like on getting the car ready? You got a lot of little things, right?
Yeah, right now it's like everything's kind of getting down to the wire where it's just like the little nickel and diamond things, you know. The big checklist is pretty simple. It's I need to drain the fuel tank, and I need to just finish wiring up the Holly. So I mean that's a simple checklist, but the Holly itself, you know, it's kind of a arduous task a little bit. So it's one of those things. We're finally getting everything checked off the list now. So
cool.
fingers
I'm sure-
crossed we'll
I'm
be
sure
on the
you'll work.
dyno by next weekend.
Are you going to try to do much testing beforehand, or?
Actually, yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the hillbilly arm drops. That's something local that happens
No.
around here.
Okay.
A guy he passed away a while back, but he started it. And it's like old school street racing style. And we come out. There's an airport right in front of my house up here. It's kind of like a semi-privately owned airport. And so we line up, and there's no lights. Well, I take it back. There's a light at the end of the track, but as for the start of the track, you line up with like spray paint. The guy, you know, lines you up just like you're on the street, and they do a hand drop.
Okay.
So they're finally bringing that back, and it's supposed to be going on the 1st. So if I can get the car on the dyno and it's running good, then I'm going to go to that hillbilly arm drop drags to get some testing in before I come down there.
Sounds good. I know I've seen, and I don't know, how far are you from the 330-foot track? There's a 330-foot track I don't think is that far from you.
Owensville? Oh, no.
it's just
You're talking
across-
about the one in over in West Virginia, over in Fort Gay.
No. That's, believe it or not, that's a 300-foot track. This is a 330-foot track, and it's just across the Kentucky line. And I'd like to go to both Fort Gay and this one. I can't think what the other name is, but it's in Kentucky. It's 330, and it looks like a cool track. It looks like it has absolutely no prep at all. It looks like I could lock up the brakes on a ride mower or get more prep on a driveway than this track has. So. But it still looks cool. Yeah, get some video of that. We want to see it.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks,
people
Dizzy.
Hey, it's gonna freak
you be
people out.
careful,
The sound of that. Just the sound of those headers
it's a
gonna freak people out.
Yeah. It's a super cool event. I've got some footage of the old hillbilly arm drop drags back when Kent Rose was still alive. It's on my channel somewhere deep down in the recesses of the first few posted videos.
Yes, Big Mike was in Fort Gay about a month ago.
Oh, okay. You was only about 30 minutes from me, brother.
Is that where you're that close to there?
Yeah.
How far is that from Huntington?
The Fort Gay track?
Yeah, I mean, just how far are you from Huntington?
Probably 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I would like to go there and see a track that short. I just think it'd be really cool to see. Because if you don't know that and you're just on their website looking at the records, you're like, man, these people are flying.
Yeah.
Then you realize it's a 300-foot track. Mountain Motor Drag, that's it. That's it.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
I
That's
haven't
the one.
been to Awesome, but I've got a lot of my friends that go. I got a buddy who's got a little white S10. That's a Hammer. And then another buddy that's got a Mustang that goes down there. And that's a wild track, man. Like when you say no prep,
Yes,
that track
that's
is
what I'm
slick.
talking about. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying. My driveway's got more prep in that track. It just, yeah, I know what, yeah. I want to go there sometime. It looks really cool. I love the way the mountain, it's cut into the mountain like it is. It's a neat looking track. I couldn't think of the name of it for anything, but he's got it. And Jason, is that like your other account or something? I'm assuming that's Jason.
I'll be going to that track as soon as the Jules up, that all-wheel drive Cavalier. I'll be taking it there.
Oh, man, that's going to be cool. I want to do it. For the last 2 years, I've had things going on, and I haven't been able to get around and do a lot of this kind of adventure and stuff I used to do. I want to do more of that next year. So going to a little track like that is something I really want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jason's channel for business. So Warrior Mobile RV Service, that's Jason's Garage Inc.'s business channel. So check it out. But does anybody else have anything else to roll? And otherwise, we'll just shut down. I don't want to wear my guests out, but I thought this would be a fun live to do. I wanted to get last year's champions on live streams this year. And it looks like we're going to have everybody from last year that won anything live this year, and that's exciting. So anyway, with that, guys, and Patrick made it right. We're about to shut it down.
Glad you made it on, buddy.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing all of you guys here next month. But with that, I guess we'll shut it down. Anything you want to plug, Roland, real quick?
Not that I can think of. Just make sure you guys get out there and share for Tom, because I really love, for one, even if me and him don't get the race, I would love to see the car there.
Sure.
I would love to see it make a pass on the track. So make sure you guys share that out on all your all's networks and tell your friends. And I mean, it shouldn't be hard for us to get him to 500. It really shouldn't.
And if nothing else, it's just a good cause for a good guy.
Yeah.
So, and Junkyard D, there's another one right there. Now, I try not to have too many things going on one live, but there's another one right there that I have a feeling is going to be hammering away and get close, and we can do a little sub-drive 4 here pretty soon. Is Junkyard D. So we got lots of great people in this community, lots of them. But with that, guys, we're going to shut down. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening, and thanks for coming out to this. I appreciate you.
See you guys.